Hi, it's Miss Souter. I just wanted to take a few minutes to discuss the summary response essay template with you. All right, here we are on the title page, and I'm just going to begin with some APA notes here. So we're going to be building and adding more in than we had the last time. All right, so first here we have the running head. You did see that with the Unit 1 paper. Just your note that you need to keep the words running head on the title page only, and that your title here needs to be your full title in all caps. So on the title page and on the title page only, the words running head need to appear, and it needs to be your full title in all caps. That's on the left side, and then the page number is on the right. Now let's take a look at the center title information. So we are including the title, which is the full title, and this does not need to be in all caps, but it does need to be in bold. Then you'll have your name. In the second line, on the third line, you'll have the department and then the community college there. And then you'll have the class on the fourth line, my name on the fifth, and the due date on the sixth line. And that's the due date of when the essay is due, not when you turn it in or not when you start it, but when it's due. All right, so that is the title page running head title information. That's all that needs to be here. And if you're downloading this template to work on it, all you have to do is kind of fill in the blanks up here with the full title, right where it's in red, and then change that to black ink, and then you'll be good. All right, now we're on page 2. This is the first page of content. We'll start with the APA stuff again. The first being the running head. As you'll notice, the words running head have disappeared because we no longer need them. And now we're going to do a shortened title, and this is usually 1 to 2 words depending on the length of the original title. And that's on the left side, and then the page number will be on the right. For those who are not using the template to write their essay, when you're working on the headings, make sure you have a different first page checked. That way the running head on the title page is different from everything else. All right. The second APA note is the title. Again, this needs to appear centered above the intro paragraph, and as you notice, it's not in all caps and it's not in bold, it's just the regular title. All right, let's get into content. We have the first paragraph here, which is the intro paragraph, and that has 3 components: the hook, an interesting story, a statistic, and about the topic that pulls your reader in. And then there's 2 background sentences. In background 1, it'll give me the name of the author or authors, the title of the article in quotations, and then the main idea of the article. This needs to all be in one sentence and in a complete sentence. You just can't put the author's name, article, and the main idea and not connect them with, the apostrophe S or the and that needs to go in there to, connect the author to the title and then the main idea to the title. Then in the second sentence, you'll just expand on the main idea. This does not mean repeat it or rephrase it in different words. It just means to go a little deeper. So if, like, you say something how the main idea is about the lessons, about the types of failure, your second lesson could be you name the 3 types. It just expands on it. And don't give away too many details about the article in those 2 background sentences, or what's the point of having the summary paragraph. All right, so hook, background, now comes the last component, which is the thesis. That should answer the prompt question: what are the lessons you learned from failure? And it should be in 1 sentence, okay? This whole paragraph should be no more than 5 sentences. 2 hook, 2 background, 1 thesis. I know you guys can do it. And that is the intro paragraph. Scrolling down, we're going to take a look at the summary paragraph. A little APA note, we are doing section headings. And section headings just mark where there's changes in direction or topic. Here we have the summary section heading. It needs to be centered in bold above the summary paragraph. And that's all you have to do with that section heading. All right, let's now get into the content of the summary. This is going to be 6 to 8 sentences long. It is going to be about the article only. You're just restating the author's, main idea and her main points. You're not offering opinion or commentary or outside information. This is solely about the article, and it will also be written in third person. So they, the author, the article, the reader, those kind of things. With the summary paragraph, you're going to start with the attribution sentence. So this is a sentence that includes the author, the title, and the main idea. So yes, that's what you did in background 1. If you want, you can just copy and paste it down here, or you can change the order. So if you did author, title, main idea in the intro paragraph, maybe you do main idea, author, title, just to kind of give it a fresh look, or you can reword it a little bit again to also give it a fresh look. And then you have, 4 to 5 body sentences that will list the major details and important information from the article, and then you will end this paragraph with a conclusion sentence that restates the main idea. I don't need the author and title in this one, I just need a restatement of the main idea. And that's the summary paragraph. That's all you have to do with it, and then you can move on. Now we're getting to the response paragraphs. So with the response paragraphs, we need a section heading because we're going from summary to response. So the section heading does need to be bold and above the first body paragraph only. I don't need to see it over the second one or the third one, just the first one, because this is all the same information. And you can use the title I have here or make up your own as long as it relates to the topic of the response paragraphs. So in each response paragraph, you are going to state your first lesson that you learned from failure in the topic sentence, and then you can go into the details. This could be about, if you're doing like multiple lessons, if you're doing lessons from multiple failures, excuse me, that's what I meant to say the first time, you can, you kind of want to lead in with what the failure was, then what you learned for it, how you applied it, that kind of stuff. If you're doing it from one failure that you had and the multiple lessons you learned from that, with that one failure, maybe talk about how a specific aspect of that failure led you to that lesson. And that's really what you're going to do with these body paragraphs. In the topic sentence, state the lesson you learned, and then provide that context, like what was the failure, what specific aspect of the failure led you to this, what was the full lesson, and how did you apply it. In any of these response paragraphs, if you use information of the article to kind of back up how you got this lesson from this failure, or if you're doing a lesson from each type of failure and you're kind of explaining that failure, if you're using any of the information from the article, whether it's quoted or paraphrased, you do need to use in-text citations. There is a sample here about how you can do in-text citations, and it's just simple as putting in parentheses the author's name and then the year that the article was published. And you put that at the end of the information that you're getting from the article. If you're pulling in an additional source to help you with this as well, you also need to cite that author, year of publication. But if you're not using the article or the outside resources, you don't have to do the in-text citation. All right, so that's the response paragraphs, and you'll do the same thing in each one, just switch up the lessons, and then you'll move down here to the conclusion. You can see that the conclusion also has a section heading because we've gone from response to wrap up. You want to begin your conclusion paragraph by reviewing your main points, restate your thesis, and then End with an impactful statement. This paragraph will be 4 to 5 sentences. It is only one sentence on the planner. Now we're fleshing it out into a full paragraph. I do not suggest reviewing the summary paragraph in here, just your main points from the response paragraphs, because that's the only part that's your work. The summary is the author's work. All right, so that's the content and the APA things that are in there, you know, section headings, in-text citations, and then, you know, you have summary and 3 response paragraphs. The last thing you guys need to do is a works cited page. And this is where you're going to list the article that we read, the value of failure, and any additional resources that you used. If you're using multiple resources, just make sure that they're in alphabetical order. If you're only using the one source, that's not going to be a problem because you'll just have to put it here. We are citing the article, The Value of Failure, as one we just as a regular article or an article we found online. It does have the, you know, web address for the article, you know, if you want to get a more specific web thing there. And I will provide a link to something called Citation Machine within the announcement that you can build a citation in and then copy and paste it here, or you just copy and paste the website and it builds it for you. So it's a couple ways you can get that done, but we are doing it as a journal article or a web article. All right, that is the works cited page. And that is all you guys have to do for the Unit 2 summary response article. If you have any questions, you guys are always welcome to email me.